Welcome, and thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy this video, we invite those of you who haven't yet done so, to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification icon, to be notified when the next one is uploaded. We'd like to urge those of you who haven't yet done so, to sign our online petition for an inquiry into the BBC and Channel 4's coverage of Lewis Hamilton and Abu Dhabi. A link has been provided in the description. If you are on X, then please repost our tweet. Thank you. Conversion is a key F1 statistic that is very illuminating. For example, Lewis Hamilton has converted the most pole positions to race wins in the history of Formula One, with a total of 61. You can also see from the table that Max Verstappen's 80% conversion rate is a statistical outlier, which is so significantly above the norm as to suggest manipulation. This is exactly the type of statistic that clearly suggests it's the car and not the driver, but what the heck, we're not here to talk about Max's credentials. What we are here to talk about today is the way Sir Lewis's move to Ferrari has converted many of his well-renowned critics into supporters. Over a series of videos, we have been uncovering evidence of such astonishing conversions that we felt the need to dedicate a video to the top 10. They are in no particular order because there are so many factors to consider, so we have just simply presented them for you to make your own determination. Some have been openly hostile to him from the early days of his career, and routinely produce articles and content to promote and monetize anti-Lewis sentiments, while others have been more insidious. But when all is said and done, they are all resoundingly anti-Lewis media outlets who to varying degrees all participated in gaslighting the robbery of his 8th title in Abu Dhabi. Now that he did not retire from F1 as they all hoped and predicted at the time, and has weathered 3 dark seasons at Mercedes to emerge a title contender at Ferrari, they are all looking to jump on the LHFX. The first media outlet is the Race.com, one of the insidious ones who back in December 2021, produced an article captioned, "Our verdict on how the 2021 F1 title was settled." This was a carefully scripted article, in what appears to be a well-honed technique, that was framed around the common line that Max was a deserving champion. Astonishingly, they represented that Marcy had made equally questionable rulings earlier on in the race that favored Sir Lewis, and this one at the end that favored Max, kind of balanced it all out. Of course, the only problem was that the earlier rulings were a matter of judgment, which is what every umpire is required to make, while the one at the end of the race was outside the rules. Critically, all these experienced F1 media knew what the rules were, but chose to pretend that there was a grey area that allowed Marcy to interpret them the way he did, so as to mislead the public into accepting Max's fraudulent title. When Sir Lewis announced his move to Ferrari last year, Race.com with articles like, "Our verdict on Hamilton to Ferrari bombshell," concluded along with all their counterparts that it was a romantic move because both Mercedes and Ferrari were so far off Red Bull, that he might as well enjoy a romantic time at Ferrari. Now that Ferrari are considered genuine title challengers, without so much as an acknowledgement of the GOAT's earlier good judgment, or their own misjudgment, they are writing article after article, with headlines like, "6 Reasons Hamilton Joined Ferrari at the Right Time," and Hamilton, "Ferrari is ready to win title again," to monetize that which they had previously dismissed out of hand. Shamelessly, they are all over the title prospect they had written off, of the driver that they had tried to force into retirement. The second media outlet on our list is the Telegraph. We have just done a video on them and their journalist Tom Cary, who had thrown shade at Sir Lewis for owning a private jet, gaslighted Abu Dhabi, and is now portraying himself as his champion who is defending him against older white men like Bernie. So, for a detailed review of Tom and the Telegraph, check out our video, Lewis Hamilton Caught Up in Unseemly F1 Media Scrum Over Ferrari Access. Third on the list we have ESPN. Now, we have come across all sorts of media outlets that have cooked up excuses for attacking the GOAT, but ESPN are the only ones we have come across that have randomly chosen to mock him just for fun, just because they felt like it. But before getting to that, it should be noted that they were in the forefront of the widespread gaslighting of Abu Dhabi, with headlines like, "Inside the Abu Dhabi GP, how F1 crowned Max Verstappen world champion, twice." Shockingly, they did not stop at gaslighting the theft of his 8th title. They proceeded to mock him in a tweet that has so far generated 2.1 million views. We are not aware that any other sports person or champion has been so gratuitously mocked or disrespected like this. Even the worst of his other detractors usually wait for him to do something or a random event to occur before launching their attack. Now this same ESPN, who mocked him for not winning any races since Max went on to win 3 world championships, including the one that was stolen from him, are now producing content proclaiming his title prospects, and rejecting the notion that he is watered down and uncompetitive. Yes folks, this is what is happening publicly. Deride him at will and then switch to supporting him when he rises above your ill will. Fourth on the list is the Dutch-based GP fans, that we have mentioned gazillion times in numerous videos for their naked hostility to Sir Lewis, that there isn't any point in highlighting their position on Abu Dhabi. They are the media of choice for anyone like Toto and co, wishing to smear Sir Lewis, no matter how unhinged or untethered to reality the smear. If you can think of it, GP fans will publish it. So, what is to be made of this Dutch media outfit, publishing not 1, but 2 polls at the time of our publishing this video, in which their respondents have chosen Sir Lewis ahead of Max by significant margins? We have already reported on the first poll in which their respondents picked Sir Lewis to win the 2025 title ahead of Max, by a significant margin. The margin has continued to widen despite a spirited effort by some to push for Max, after we had drawn attention to the poll. Astonishingly, GP fans have doubled down on their preference for Sir Lewis over Max, by reporting that their readers have concluded that he and Ferrari won the 3 days of pre-season testing. Their site is now full of articles promoting, celebrating, and supporting what they have described as Hamilton mania. We will end this half of the review with our 5th selection, which is Planet F1. GP fans' partner in crime, who we have already done several videos on, are equally notorious as the media of choice for those like Toto who wish to smear Sir Lewis, no matter how unhinged or untethered to reality the smear. In our last video on them titled, F1 Media War Erupts Over Right to Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari as Martin Brundle Doubles Down on Theory, we pointed out how they have introduced a feature that lists their most popular articles, which shows that 2 out of 3 of them are on Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari. So, of course Planet F1 are now predominantly publishing pro-Lewis articles, despite the fact that their editor, Michelle Foster, had built up a notoriety for attacking him and spreading misinformation about him. That's all for now folks. In the second part we will list the remaining 5, and if you know who they are, let us know in the comment section. Forza Ferrari.